Was July 14th, 2024. Nice morning here in the shooting range. A little wind out of the northwest. You can see some grass moving over there. What's going to happen today, we think at least, is we're going to put our original cylinder that we've got back into our Pietta 1858. And it's been shooting with a 45 ACP cylinder done by Howell. And I did have a few issues putting that cylinder into this particular gun. It worked fine in other Piettas that I've had, other 58s. So I knew there was an issue with the gun inside here someplace, so we took care of that, and have a video out there on what we did to make that work in the gun. And we've been shooting the 45 ACP some here with the gun. Here's a group that we fired fairly recently, using a 160 grain Lee. Let's get the shadow here out of that so we can take a better look at 168 grain Lee cast bullet. And I kind of like that because of the point of aim is right down in here, and this group is basically centered on that point of aim, where if we go to a heavier bullet like a 200 grain 45 slug, or say a 230 or even a 250, I'll be shooting up here at the top of the target, probably at least 6 to 8 inches higher than my point of aim at the 21 yards. And I kind of like to shoot point of aim. I like to be able to hit some pop cans. This bullet is pretty devastating on those things. So anyway, we like where this one is hitting, but we're a little concerned about shooting left. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's probably inch and a half to the left. So what I want to do today is find out if we're shooting go back to our black powder. In this case, we're going to use Graf and Sons powder that we just got in here. It's in the 3F. We want to see if this is also shooting left with the original black powder stuff. And if that's the case, then we can make a modification to our front sight. I can take a little off the right hand side, and it shouldn't take too much to move that group that inch or inch and a half. What I'm using here is a 451 Lee cast round ball. I realize that Pietta does recommend the 454, and I think you'll get probably much of a guaranteed seal between the chambers and the side of the ball that way. But I've had pretty good luck with the 451. Let's ram one down here and see if we get another ring. Those are all coming out okay. I'm using quite a bit of force on this one. There, drops down. Yeah, so 5 out of 5, no problems there. I'm using a 1.6 cc Lee powder dipper here with a 3F GoX. That turns out to be around, I think, 24 grains. That one went down pretty easy. There's a little difference always in the size you cast these things at. Some will vary thousandths or two, so that's why the 454 I think is recommended. A lot of folks shoot that. I think the loading levers on the guns actually supply more leverage than the unit that I've got here, so they're probably not that hard to shove down the 454s. And I rigged up a mini grease gun here that I use for putting the lube in the chambers here on top of the ball. About one squeeze usually works pretty decent there. Covers it and gets me some lube on top of the ball, possibly to seal any cracks that might be between the chambers here and the ball itself. So it didn't take too long to run those through. I should have probably wiped those rings off, but that's pretty much the way the cylinder gets lubed. I'm going to rub a little bit of lube on the arbor pin here just to keep things working a little better. Well, there's a target we just shot. I'm kind of happy right now I didn't start filing on the right hand side of that sight. It seems like my black powder loads are just doing okay. A lot of variation here in speeds. However, I mean, I got 560 all the way up to 708, so I got 150 feet per second. It doesn't seem to bother the thing too much at 21 yards. That 150 foot spread of speeds in there. I think the reason is maybe because the first cylinder not being fouled and stuff makes a difference, and also I noticed a couple of those round balls that I shoved down went a whole lot easier than a couple of other ones, so that might account for the spread in speeds here. But you know, I can't complain here with the group size. Like I say, over here maybe I'm shooting a little bit to the left, but I just gotta leave things alone because that's doing okay. Maybe shooting a little bit low. I don't want to take anything off the front sight, because if I do go to a heavier bullet in the 45 ACP conversion cylinder, go to a heavier bullet or something, I'll be shooting higher anyway. So I definitely don't want to remove anything off that front sight. I got the wild bunch showed up down there, so I figure I better load another 6 here. Well, it looks from here like the wild bunch down there has gone green. Might have something to do with the idea that, you know, recycling the cans. And I always tend to want to help out my wife when she's into that kind of thing. Other thing, they maybe figure it's the summertime and just green blends in a little easier. Of course, they figure it's another year or two and the old range is probably gone to seed by this time. Anyway, we got 5 of them down there. I'm probably able to get a couple of them and scare the heck out of the rest of them. Now I know there's some complaining going on. I should be shooting this offhand, one-handed, but if they wanted a fair fight, they should go somewhere else. You still got 1 shot left. I think somebody's alive down there in the grass. Maybe not anymore. Well, I might have gotten lucky on that one that was hiding in the grass. Well, I'm not sure, but let's check it out. I don't know which one of these carcasses it is. Oh, I think it's this one, sure enough. How about that, huh? Yep. He wasn't so lucky after all.